Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Washington Gun Law TV. I'm Washington Gun Law President William Kirk. Thanks for joining us. Do illegal aliens have Second Amendment rights? That has been a rather vociferous debate that's been occurring in the Second Amendment community ever since an Obama-appointed judge earlier this year threw out that section of federal code, 18 United States Code Section 922 G5, in the matter of United States v. Carbajal Flores. It had many of us here in the 2A community kind of taking sides. Do they or don't they? Well, now it appears that the Fifth Circuit, a circuit that is usually pretty pro-Second Amendment, has definitively answered this question once and for all as they're concerned, and the answer is no, they do not. So today, let's spend a few minutes, let's get you educated, and let's talk about, do illegal aliens have gun rights? This court says no way. Okay, hey, before we get going too far down the road we're going down, you know, all we ever try to do here at Washington Gun Law is educate. And part of educating is also learning yourself. And when every now and then you come along an instructor and you're like, wow, I really like the way he teaches. And that's what I'm talking about when I found Taylor Wright over at Defenders and Disciples, because his online target focused shooting is going to give you a whole new way of thinking about shooting, and it's going to do it in small, digestible, simple English pieces that you can just practice at home. Listen, I like the class so much, I threw myself on an airplane, shagged it all the way out to Tennessee, and got trained by him personally. And now here's the best part, okay? If you want to try this class out and you want to try it out for 25% off, you can either click on my partner page or right down there below and find the link, or you just go to Defenders and Disciples, and if you use the promo code WK25, you will receive 25% off. But here's the catch. This is only good for the first 100 people that sign up, or until 9 a.m. Monday on Labor Day out here at Pacific time. So listen, if you're really ready to take your shooting to the next level, if you're really ready to get to the point where you are proficient so that you can protect yourself and your loved ones, please consider signing up for Taylor's class, Target Focused Shooting. Remember to use the promo code WK25. Okay, America, the case we're talking about today is United States of America versus Medina Cantu. It is a case that has now been decided by a 3-judge panel before the Fifth Circuit of the United States Court of Appeals. It's a challenge to 18 United States Code Section 922 G5, which is the federal prohibition on illegal aliens, undocumented workers, newcomers, whatever nomenclature we're using. Hey, they're here illegally. There is a federal ban that says you do not have any Second Amendment rights. You cannot lawfully be in possession of a firearm if you're in this country illegally. Now, in the Fifth Circuit, there was already standing precedent, a case called Portillo-Munoz, which we've talked about before, which had been decided many, many years ago, in fact, decided pre-Bruin. And so what the plaintiffs were arguing here is, hey, listen, Fifth Circuit, you keep relying on this Portillo-Munoz case. That case was decided pre-Bruin. Portillo-Munoz is probably bad case law, and therefore we should have a new take at this. The problem is that the Fifth Circuit, well, not only were they not convinced with the argument, but they also kind of threw up a procedural block here and said, hey, listen, as a 3-judge panel, we can't basically overturn a full en banc panel's ruling. Now, this is how the court framed the issue. On appeal, Medina Cantu argues that 18 United States Code Section 922 G5 is unconstitutional in light of the Supreme Court's decisions in Bruin and Rahimi. As noted above, this court held in Portillo-Munoz that Section 922 G5 is constitutional under the Second Amendment, reasoning that the phrase "the people" in the Second Amendment does not include aliens unlawfully present in the United States. And here's the thing. It is entirely possible that even though that case may have used the wrong analytical method, it may have still come to the correct conclusion. And that's in part and parcel what the court is saying here. But they also have this procedural block that they get to throw up, kind of this whole, hey, it's not that we don't want to help you, it's that we can't. Because as they point out, under this circuit's rule of orderliness, a 3-judge panel may not overturn another panel's decision absent an intervening change in the law, such as by statutory amendment, or the Supreme Court, or our en banc court. So Portillo-Munoz had been decided by an en banc panel of the Fifth Circuit, and what the court here is saying, the 3-judge panel is saying is, hey, listen, we have internal rules here where 3-judge panels are not going to be overruling full en banc decisions. Accordingly, unless we can conclude that Bruin and or Rahimi unequivocally abrogated Portillo-Munoz, Medina Cantu's Second Amendment challenge fails due to the rules of orderliness. Now, as I mentioned, the plaintiffs here are saying, hey, listen, the case you're relying on, it relied on Heller, Heller was a pre-Bruen case, and so therefore we get a do-over, right? And the court obviously was not persuaded here. Namely, we highlighted that the court in Heller held that the Second Amendment surely elevates above all other interests the right of law-abiding, responsible citizens to use arms in defense of hearth and home. We also noted the court's conclusion that the term "the people" is generally employed in the Constitution to refer to all members of the political community, and that there is a strong presumption that the Second Amendment right is exercised individually and belongs to all Americans. And of course, since that is the way that the court views the commands of the Heller opinion, they reach this conclusion then. Drawing upon this language in Heller, we conclude that illegal aliens are not law-abiding, responsible citizens or members of the political community, and aliens who enter or remain in this country illegally and without authorization are not Americans as the word is commonly understood. Accordingly, we held that the Second Amendment's protections do not extend to illegal aliens, and that Section 922G5 is therefore constitutional under the amendment. But just for giggles here, the court says, hey, listen, you know what? Even if we take a look at this issue that the plaintiff raises, and we do so under a Bruen framework, yeah, he still doesn't win. Because they're going to find, and I'm not saying I disagree with this, that the plain text of the Second Amendment does not cover the activity here. Because the activity here is the possession of a firearm by a person who is in the United States unlawfully. As the court put it, under Bruen's standard, our precedent dictates that Medina Cantu's Second Amendment challenge fails at the first step. We held in Portillo-Munoz that the Second Amendment's plain text does not cover the conduct of aliens who are unlawfully present in the United States. But then, of course, there is the horrible Rahimi hangover, right? Because we see this all the time, and we've talked time and time again about how there was way too much sloppy language that was put in Rahimi, and that really those on both sides can use a lot of that sloppy language to their advantage if they want to be less than intellectually honest. And I'm not saying that the plaintiffs here were less than intellectually honest here. What I am saying is they tried to throw up the whole, well, but Rahimi says otherwise. Rahimi says otherwise. The court here was not persuaded that Rahimi really changed the equation one bit. Rahimi, like Bruen, did not unequivocally abrogate our precedent that the plain text of the Second Amendment does not encompass illegal aliens. Rahimi, like Bruen, provides little clarification as to who is protected by the Second Amendment. Okay, so the court here is basically saying, hey, listen, it doesn't matter how you cut it, okay? We're not saying that Portillo-Munoz is bad law. It has not necessarily been overruled by Bruen. We may have used the wrong method, but we may have arrived at the right conclusion, and they very well may have. They also have this procedural rule that they have internally within the Fifth Circuit where a three-judge panel is not going to touch a full en banc panel's ruling with a 10-foot pole, thus leading the court to rule as follows. But absent clearer indication that Portillo-Munoz has been abrogated, only the Supreme Court, or this court sitting en banc, can overturn our precedent. To summarize, this court held in Portillo-Munoz that illegal aliens are not members of the political community covered by the plain text of the Second Amendment. The majority opinions in Bruen and Rahimi did not address this issue, nor did they unequivocally abrogate our holdings in Portillo-Munoz. Accordingly, following the rules of orderliness, we are bound to follow Portillo-Munoz and uphold the constitutionality of Section 922G5 under the Second Amendment. The district court's judgment is affirmed. Okay, now we're still waiting for some word on the Carbajal-Flores case, which is likely to come out of the Fourth Circuit. We very well may have similar rulings. We very well may end up with different rulings. And if we do, we now have a circuit split, thus elevating the chance exponentially that this issue could get before the United States Supreme Court. The case, once again, is United States of America versus Jose Paz Medina Cantu. We're going to link it all up down below so you can geek out on the order of the court for yourself. Maybe you got more questions about this or something else related to what's left of our Second Amendment rights. You guys should know how to get a hold of Washington gun law by now, but if you don't, that's okay. All of that information is down there in the description box. Maybe you got an idea for a video we should be doing around here. If you do, go ahead and click on that link right there. Most of the good ideas we come up with, we actually don't come up with at all. Maybe you just want to be part of our monthly newsletter. The ability to do that and subscribe is all down there in the description box. And then finally, and most importantly, America, let's remember this. The part of being a lawful and responsible gun owner, like we talk about all the time here, is to know what the law is in every situation, how it applies to you in any instance that you may find yourself. Until next time, thanks for watching. Stay safe.